How are we all, people? How are we going today? So everyone in Melbourne, obviously it is a public holiday and people don't know how to drive. This guy's been at the front of this apartment block and I don't know if he knows how to drive. He's probably stolen the car. So hope everyone is having a fantastic day. The sun is out here in beautiful Melbourne, very temperamental Melbourne. Maddie G and Feeder, how are you, sister? And yeah, I wanted to talk about, like, even so tomorrow there's going to be obviously a grand final, and then Sunday for all the NRL teams. So in a sporting team, in an environment, how's everyone going? In an environment, you need to have standards, you need to have beliefs, you need to have everything that is going to grow you, yeah? And I don't know what this guy is doing, I'm just going to go around him. How are you, Brad? How are you guys? And yeah, I wanted to this is very applicable, yeah, and this is for anything. It can be a relationship, it can be a anything, any environment at all. You really need to understand that there needs to be values and there needs to be systemizations of how people uphold themselves. Do you know what I'm saying? So what I want to talk to everyone about as well, it just really comes down to understanding that you need to get boundaries right, and you need to put things into place. That if you're going to have a strong anything, a football team, a marriage, a relationship, an organization, a family, you really need to have values that everyone understands and everyone that they agree on and uphold. Because if any of these standards and values, excuse me, almost just had a protein drink, aren't upheld, then what you're going to do is obviously things aren't going to be great. And you can't keep swapping in and out of these values, so on and so forth. And it comes down to as well, so if you're anything, yeah, if you're an inspiring leader, if you're a mother, if you're a father, if you're a partner, you can't expect to have respect from other people if you don't respect yourself. And more importantly, you can't have respect if you're not respecting anyone else, yeah? So I want it to be very clear, and this goes to anything, yeah? It can be just one person, if you don't have your own values or beliefs as well, it's not going to go too well. Everyone needs to understand what are your values, what are your beliefs, and then obviously the people around you, they need to respect that as well. So, that comes into, your value, in beast mode, and what we do within myself is honesty, respect, loyalty, trust, honor, and family, yeah? And I think I actually left family out today. And these are the things that really need to be in perspective of understanding and communication, because it's about communication. And that's why you even see in my live streams, I communicate the understanding of the messenger of strength, yeah, and the truth, and their values that you're communicating with people, and that's what you lead by. You lead with the truth. You lead with your heart. And I know that in anything, in an organization, in friendships, in relationships, in teams, that if their values aren't very clear and upheld and they're not always worked on, then you're not going to be getting hey man, Adam, how are you, bro? And Chris, good to have everyone on. If these values aren't met, then there's going to obviously be, you're not going to get your desired outcome. So it's a simple thing that Richmond, I was just watching something about Richmond before, and they were talking about obviously the team and the boys, so that the reason why Richmond has become so good just recently is because the organization, the new coaches have upped their values, yeah, has upped their standards, has upped their belief system. So all the players are sticking to to these standards, to these beliefs, and so on and so forth. So that's like anything, people. And what I find, that when there's a lack of, or when there's a dropout of communication, and when there's a lack of communication, that's where things really, they fall out. And so if you can just, even in your family, just say you've got, a father and a mother, you've got 2 kids, to have that standards, to have those values in a family, it's huge, because otherwise you're just making it up. Otherwise you're just, you're just guessing, your people don't really know what else is important. And I know, me and Maddie always, we're always instigating, we're always being that, we're always about the honesty, yeah? Respect you'll get where respect is earned, If you're someone that keeps showing up with respect and respects everyone else, you'll get the respect. Loyalty, or second to none. You get that 100%. And then you're obviously talking about trust is everything. Yeah, you know, even if someone doesn't like it, you're going to tell them what the truth is, what the trust is. That's just because it has to be, because the truth is what sets you free. The truth is what someone needs to hear, be, and know for them to be able to move forward. You know what I'm saying? And that's what, and there's no ifs or buts, there's no gray areas about that. So you know, people, you really want to be able to find that, you know, that place in you, that really to take yourself there, that you can keep having those understandings about being the best version of yourself. To be, again, a best or the best version of you, or a good or great anything. I don't like the word good. It comes down to being a person of integrity, yeah? Being a person of congruency, being a person that plays above the line, someone that is going to show up, communicate how they feel, say what they're at, and then, you know, you either get a win on a board, or, you know, you move towards it. But it's the people that don't speak up. It's the people that, you know, do things behind closed doors. It's the people that act in, you know, like a retaliation. That's really what sinks battleships, yeah? You know, as they say, loose lips sink battleships. And you really need to, when I talk about loyalty always comes down to trust. You're loyal to someone if you're always going to give them, okay, cool, well, look, this is how I'm feeling, I'm going to be honest, this is what you need to know in this perspective if you're someone that's got the results. Eleni, how are you, sister? And, you know, you really want to go, another thing as well, that when you are creating anything, yeah, you're creating yourself, you're creating a relationship, you're creating a business, you're creating a team, you're creating energy, yeah, and you're creating multiple solutions or multiple anything. What you want to remember is that go with your feeling, yeah, go with the way you feel, because the way you feel is right. And it's actually been so scary lately that my intuition has been so spot on that it's been freaky. Honestly, it's been that like on point that it's been freaky. If there's no trust, there's no family, and that's exactly right. You know, Matt, and you know, even though as you know, we've obviously grown more together, and we've you know, spent more time together, you know that it really comes down to that people are going to have resistance, or you know this is a simple thing as well. We're humans, yeah, so sometimes we will hold ourselves not in the best manner. But you know what the best thing to do is? If you don't like what someone says, if you don't understand what someone says, if something is troubling you, you communicate, and you communicate with this other person, and you go, well, look, you know what, you said this, that, whatever, blah, blah, blah. That's fantastic, because then you've always gone, okay, cool, now we've spoken about that, now I understand that troubled you. Not that person holds on to that, and then other things come by, and before you hold on to that, and then there's this huge thing. Like, I'll even be honest with you, Eleni pulled me up the other day, because I actually said a joke which she didn't like, and you know, and she said, look, Lee, I need to speak to you about it. And it was perfect, you know, obviously, you know, it was after, it was like, hold on a second, you know, fucking, why did you think that? But, you know, you communicate. It's about, oh, this person says this, so you hold on to that fucking cancer. You know, like, when someone says something, it's like someone is, you know, kidnapped or hijacked your brain. Because when they've hijacked your brain, they've said something, and you hold on to it, and your brain's hijacked. So every time you think of and act on something, all these things start to, you act upon, you know, being hijacked. You know what I'm saying? So when you're in that wrong frame of mind, and someone says something and you don't get a solution, that's, you know, and also, you know, that was great with Eleni. Obviously, firstly, I you know, the way I retaliated, or the way I was proactive, I was very defensive. I said, how could you fucking think that I would say that? You know what I mean? If it doesn't feel right, you speak about it. Exactly, and that's right. And you know, then you give more explanations about things, and then you move on from it. So the other thing that I say is, obviously, when is enough? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, when do you call the shots? When do you call it quits? Like, in anything, in a team, in an organization, in an environment, just anywhere. If you feel like that, you know, you're not getting appreciated, if you feel like you're not, getting the results, if you feel anything but you know, getting that great result, then you want to bring it to you know, you want to bring it to the teams, the person, the organization, their environment. You want to bring it to their attention, yeah. So you don't want to just keep going on and feeling, oh look, I don't feel right, but I'm just going to hold it in, or whatever. You really want to speak up. You want to say, well, look, I'm a man, I'm a woman, this is where I'm at, these are my values, my beliefs, this is how I want to feel, blah blah blah, and so on and so forth. You communicate, you talk to one another about it. Do you know what I'm saying? You don't let things build up and bottle up, and before you know it, then, you know, someone goes and does something stupid. You know, you keep moving forward, you keep growing, you keep putting that energy out, you keep, you know, and that's what it's about, communication, clear. Because, you know, I might say, fuck, you know what, the sky looks blue, yeah? Or someone might say there's an Asian person walking past, and they might have said, oh, look at the gook. Yeah, and that's actually happened. This has actually happened. And the Asian guy goes, what did you fucking call me? Did you call me a gook? And he goes, no, I said the sky is blue. So if he didn't ask, there would have been almost a big punch on. But he goes, no, man, I said the sky is blue. Just chill out. You know what I'm saying? And you need to communicate, especially if you're friends, especially if you're, you know, you're in an intimate relationship. You guys communicate with one another. You don't go and communicate with strangers. You don't go and communicate with girlfriends or friends, because they're going to obviously cloud it. You communicate with one another until you get the solution, until you be able to say, okay, you know what? Fuck, that makes sense. Because the biggest breakdown of relationship is communication. You know, if you can't express how you feel, or, you know, what you're going through, and, you know, all that stuff, then, you know, you might as well just be, you know, lock yourself in a room and be there by yourself. And another thing as well, you know, if something that you hear doesn't compute, doesn't feel right, you don't want to keep that splinter in your head, because then you're going to be walking around with a splinter in your head, and you're not going to be, you know, every time someone like hits you in the head, or someone looks at you, the rest of it, you're going to be angry because you got this splinter in your head, you know, and that's called, you know, something that hasn't been resolved. So people, you know, you really need to set clear boundaries of what is acceptable and what isn't. But one thing I'll say as well, if you fuck up and do something wrong, be prepared to obviously get that. If you disrespect someone, get prepared to be disrespected, because that's it. You know, you think people are going to be happy about it. Not that two wrongs make a right, but just in normal, you put out that energy and you're going to get it back. It's a simple, you know, it's a simple reflection that, you know, what you put out is what you get. Yeah. So, you know, you really need to be mindful about, you know, what you're doing, your values, how you're acting, you know, what you're believing in, what's loyalty to you, trust, and all the rest of that. Because, you know, some people have forgot all that stuff. Yeah. Never hold shit in, speak to the person, exactly, you know. So yeah, that's what I just wanted to leave you guys with today. You know, it's yeah, it's one of those days that you know, there's going to be days that are challenging. There's going to be days that are smooth sailing, and you really just have to, you know, use the tools. Sometimes people can take the things the wrong way. Again, it happened for me the other day. It wasn't until I was clarified on what was really meant the next day for me to meaning was understood. Cool. And that's exactly, you know, putting yourself in that place, Chris. And I know that you've done that many times, to be understanding, which is fantastic. And what I say about that, you know, you want to, if there's a bit of a grey area, you want to be clarified. Yeah, you want to know what's going on. You want to know, okay, what's acting, because you know what, people can make decisions on things and they can do things, but they don't understand the repercussions. They don't understand like how it's going to affect everyone else. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you could maybe act in that way, and then you're just like, well, hold on a second, like, and that's what I'll say again as well, that, you know, you can't expect, and this is me as well, when I first started coaching, you know, I'm that thing about, you know, with coaching, come on, you know, I've got other coaches that'll be like this, and you have to do that, and blah, 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 and you have to smash this out, and, you know, and you have to understand people. You can't lead everyone the same way. Do you know what I mean? You can't be this, you know, this person that's just going to be, you know, hammer and tong, and, you know, this is what you have to do. You have to lead everyone the right way. But you know what? It gets, when, you know, for me, this is just me, when my trust is broken, it cuts me deep more than anything. Yeah, when my trust is broken, it does something to me. You know, I know that there's been personal things with my family, that with the trust, and then when trust is cut, or when trust is not there, it really affects me in a bad way. Loyalty, forget about it. When loyalty is, you know, when loyalty is taken from you, that's just something that, you know, really understands. Kurt, this guy straight up awesome. Oh, awesome. Hey, Ange, how are you, sister? And Raul, what's going on, bro? And yeah, you know, and if you talk about, so you got trust, loyalty, respect. Look, you get respect. You don't really need to get respect from anyone, because if you're respectful, you're going to get it yourself. You know, family is absolutely everything as well. Family is my top value. That it's all about that trust. It's all about loyalty. It's all about having that strong, you know, those strong people around you. It's all about having family. It's always about, you know, you can trust people with anything. Do you know what I mean? You can whatever, turn your back and they'll make sure that fucking, you know, you're not getting fucking stabbed in the back, or you know, you go into a burning house and they'll make sure that they're there, you know, to bring you out. Just anything about that, yeah. And you know, they're the values that I've really lived on. You know, honesty, that's everything. Speak, be honest, don't hold things back. If something's happened, you know, speak up about it. Even if people don't like you for it, they will eventually, you know, that initial moment, they will get probably the emotion will be like, what the fuck are you saying? Then they will think about it, they'll compute it, then later on they'll go back and you know, then they'll go, you know what, now I understand why they were saying it, now I know why they were doing it that way. Yeah. And that's the thing about that loyalty. Like I said, there's not many loyal people in the world, and you know, that's a big thing that I've really been working at within our team, within myself, within people that I surround myself, is loyalty. Obviously, trust is everything. Trust is the truth. Lead with the truth. Again, prefer you guys to hate me, but later on you'll love me, and you'll know that, because you'll go, that the old you will be going, like, what the fuck's going on here? And then what will happen is then you'll go, okay, now I know what this guy's about. You know, and like I said, so there's trust, loyalty, respect, honor. You know, honor is honoring yourself, honoring the people around you, having that's very important as well. And that all comes down into it as well, because the family is everything that comes together. Yeah, you know, a lot of people say, like, even they say their own family, they don't have that love and that connection. And you know what, and that's what we're building here. Like, you know, I come from a beautiful family. I've had all of you know, these my values that I've been brought up with. And you know, and it's everything that you know that you're loyal, like your family's loyal there for you. They've always got your back. The trust, you can trust them. You know, you need anything, trust them. They will tell you what it is. You know, the respect, they will respect you when you are, you know, in that place to be respectful. So on and so forth. So you know, they're all lessons in themselves, people, and they're very important lessons to set the boundaries. You know, even if you're starting a new job, or you're getting people in your team, starting a new relationship, friendships, there needs to be boundaries. There needs to be values. There needs to be standards that you need to be able to put into place. So, you know, then, you know, people aren't stepping over the line. You know that everyone knows what they're doing and how they're doing it. It's absolutely everything, because otherwise people will go, oh, I don't know, or they would just exist. And through their model of the world, they will be standing on their toes. And that's why, you know, with the team and that, I'm always pulling up the team to saying, hey guys, you know, our standards are high. Our standards are, you know, you're matching that because that's for you. And we've got benchmarks, and we're always, you know, recalibrating to make sure we're on the right path. And then we're all calibrating, you know, making sure that's, you know, that's where we need to be. And it does. And I'll be honest with you people as well. You know, I do everything with my heart on my sleeve. You know, it's not just me being a coach, it's me being Lee Bundy. Yeah. And you know, if people do anything but respect that and match that, it really cuts me deep. It does. It really cuts me deep, because the same thing, what I'm experiencing now, is what I experienced before when I was in Bali almost a year ago, yeah, where I broke up with my ex-fiance. And I think about things about, okay, you know, you get to a point when you go, hold on a second. What did I do? You know, how did I, you know, what did I do to instigate that? How did I cause that? And you start questioning yourself, and then you have to really pull yourself up and go, hold on, it's got nothing to do with me. It's got nothing to do with me. You know, like, you could be the most perfect woman, the perfect man, but if people are broken, people got their own shit, if people around other people that are broken, that they're running things off each other, they're going to see brokenness in everything. So it doesn't matter how much of a beautiful woman and perfect lover, mother, fucking this and the rest of it, or how much of a perfect man, provider, protector, you know, understanding the woman, all that stuff, perfect king, perfect queen. If the person or persons you're standing across are broken, if they're in the wrong state, if they're around the wrong people that are influencing them, they are going to find a problem with every solution, and they're going to find brokenness in everything as well. So, you know, that's something that you guys really need to be mindful about and think about that as well, because you know what happens? You might, you know, like the thing is, you know, our parents, we all know our parents, they love us, but when we're in the wrong state, we absolutely hate them. They're our worst enemy, you know, like, oh, my parents, and they're this and they're the rest of it. And then you think about it, like, hold on a second, that was just me being a little shit. That was me lying. That was me, you know, not being the best version of myself. So you take it out on the parents. And you see that in relationships as well. Like, you know, you see people in relationships, you might have the most amazing partner that does everything. But because the other partner has the brokenness, has the untrustworthy, has because you know when people say, when they talk about another person, they're normally talking about themselves. So what they say and what that is what you see in others, you see in yourself. So if you think someone's untrustworthy, yeah, not because they've actually given you something to be untrustworthy about, it's just because it's an assumption, then that's different, you know, then that's like, hold on a minute, then you've got that guilty conscience because you must have that in you, yeah? And it really comes down to, you know, when you're talking about different things, you know, when they really need to be understood, is that you need to not have assumptions. You need to say, hey, okay, cool, you know what? This is what I need from you. This is how I am. This is how I'm going to show up and the rest of it. Because this is... Sorry, someone was calling me. The warning signs are when your energy and your feeling towards that person starts to shift, yeah? And you'll know that because there'll be a shift of energy. There'll be a shift of appreciation. There'll be a shift of communication. And it really comes to a perspective when you're feeling that energy shift, when it's not feeling right, then communicate. Lay the cards on the table, communicate. Hey, look, this is what's going on. You know, I'm not feeling right with this. This is what I need from you. What do you need from me? Let's meet halfway. Let's get it going on, yeah? Not, okay, let's just build up a scenario. Let someone else build that up and let that keep going. Before you know, you've fucking depolarized out. And then before you know it, you're too far out and you can't swim back because you can't see the beach. You've gone, the rip's taking you out. And before you know it, you go to paddle back in and you're just like, fuck, where is everyone? Yeah? So communicate when it doesn't feel right, yeah? I'm going to move my car in here before the car spots go. So have a think about that. You know, like, I know that you're all, there's parents here, there's inspiring leaders, there's inspiring teachers, there's inspiring anything and everything. So really pay that in perspective, like, you know, what's going on in your life these days, you know, who's in your life. And yeah, take that into perspective about what's going on, yeah? Because you really do want to you really want to make sure that you are hitting. Ooh, I think we're not going to get all the parking's gone. This is crazy. Public holiday, you think people will be having a hangover, but everyone's in the gym. Cool. And that's what happens as well, people. You know, one thing I want to say, leave you guys with, do not take other people for granted, yeah? Don't take other people for granted. Appreciate, you know, show other people love, yeah, and so on and so forth. Because if you don't appreciate, is this guy going to go around? What's going on? Sorry guys, if you don't appreciate and if you don't, you know, show people that you actually care for them and so on and so forth, you know, you actually, it's not that you're not showing appreciation for them, you're actually not showing appreciation for yourself. And, you know, and that's quite sad as well. You know, you want to be making sure that you are feeling in that perspective, you are feeling appreciated, you are feeling loved and everything above, because then showing appreciation for others is showing that you appreciate yourself. Because otherwise you're always focusing on something which isn't giving you that love. Show appreciation, and then you know what, they will show you appreciation, because someone else shows you appreciation. What normally happens? You end up showing yourself appreciation, and then it all works out quite well. All right, people. So I want you to have an absolutely fantastic day. You know, I know it's a long weekend for most of people here. Just let me park the car. So I know it's a long weekend for everyone. So I hope everyone has an amazing weekend. Let me turn this thing off. An amazing weekend, and just really, you know, the stuff that I told you about, really implement it, because it will add a massive difference in your life. Yeah, yes, love and gratitude, Eleni. Thanks, guys. Have an amazing day. I'm going to go and have a bit of a party pump, have a nice sauna, and yeah, get my head around a few things. So take care. Speak to you guys soon.